My name's Ryan Sutherland, and I'm 35 years old. I originally come from northern New Brunswick. I work as a technician in an automotive garage, and I guess I also LARP. Well, LARP in general is live action role-playing. A lot of the time it sort of manifests as being like the old Dungeons and Dragons games, except I suppose with slightly greater physical component to it, where people, rather than relying on dice, are sort of relying on their reactions and their wits a bit more.
Ready?
I play Varen. He's an assassin. He uses, generally speaking, a long sword and a short sword, as well as the bow and arrow. And he tends to like to mediate circumstances in a way where it's mutually beneficial for everyone, and very much enjoys when it can't be that way and everyone gets to fight. I found that a lot of the RP elements of this is sort of a way to experiment with aspects of self that maybe I was too shy to let out more, or maybe I just want to sort of experiment or play with. Before I started playing Varen, I was much more withdrawn. I'd let myself become very withdrawn. But Varen himself isn't very withdrawn. And I could put my own, introversion aside for the short period of time, relatively speaking, that would be required to sort of play Varen. And that really sort of opened me up to being more back in the world, as opposed to sort of inside questioning, and I guess in that regard, playing Varen really brought me out of my shell. My parents were pacifists, and very much so. It was very much their belief that, if someone's bullying, don't pay them any attention. They just want the attention, and if you don't pay the attention, they'll leave you alone. We moved around a fair bit, and there was a period of time where I was bullied a lot. You know what I mean? And I really was trying their sort of like, yeah, don't let it bother you. And that didn't work in that setting. Really the only thing that helped was when I sort of got fed up and talked my way into getting free martial art classes at this one martial arts school in Nova Scotia. And once I started doing that, people were less likely to want to try and push me around. So I started to think about, martial arts as an immune system against violence. And I found that over time, you'd see more and more of this glorification of these excellent Mortal Kombat style finishing moves. You know what I mean? We're like, oh yeah, if someone goes to shove you, you do this and it breaks their arm in 3 places, and then, like, whoa, eventually it made me feel almost sick. The constant encountering of that sort of subculture in the martial arts. So when I started doing the LARP stuff, I had really moved away from formal study and had been doing all of that sort of soul searching. I had to reconcile that feeling of the reality of violence with that feeling of safety that a understanding of violence can provide. I'm very much enjoying myself, and as long as I can stay engaged and sort of, navigate the social dynamics of everything fairly well, then I can see it being something that I'll continue to do.